What's up, YouTube? It's Black Sword here. I'm here to tell you about. I know it's been a minute. I just thought I would ditch the Superman. Superman, the Man of Steel. So I'm like, you know what? Let me take it back a little bit to the Dark Knight Rises. I hated that movie, and it kind of reminded me of that. The Dark Knight Rises was probably ranked the 10th worst movie I've ever seen. And hold up, for those of you who don't think so, I'm gonna tell you, break it down piece by piece and say why it is. First off, the story made absolutely no sense. There were too many plot holes in the story. And the reason why I say this is because, one, Batman just quits after 8 years because he's mourning Rachel's death. And that doesn't sound like Batman. You're talking about he was driven hard and he was fighting during the Dark Knight. And Alfred was pushing him, saying, "You need to do this, Master Wayne. You need to do this, Master Wayne." And he just becomes a whiny, mopey bitch in this one. And I didn't like it. I didn't like Batman. He's whiny and mopey, and I didn't like him in this one. Two, Bane. Bane did not wear a mask because he hurt himself in prison. That's just from me liking DC Comics. Now let me take it from me, my hat off from me liking DC Comics. This is my DC comic hat to my regular hat, which I do not have right now. Anyway, don't have my regular hat, but regular person hat on right now, and I'm telling you this from my regular standpoint. Bane was a villain. His motives didn't really make any sense. He was just causing mayhem just to cause mayhem. Why would you shoot the only person to disarm the bomb? Because you want to create suspense, and then at the next time say it's gonna go off in about 3 to 5 months, which happens to be just enough time Batman needs to come back from his injury, get out of the prison, and come back to Gotham. Doesn't really make sense. And this is something I noticed about Nolan movies. Probably some of y'all might have noticed is why the hell did they put the guy who plays Scarecrow in every Nolan? He's almost in everything. That's just a side comment. Because if you look at Inception, he's there. He's in Batman. He's in the Dark Knight. He's in the Batman Begins, and he's in this one. I don't know what is his obsession with this actor. He's really not that talented, but Scarecrow's in it again. If you like Scarecrow, he's in it again. Some shit. But the council didn't make any sense. The criminals take over the city. And then on top of that, why would you send every cop in the sewer? I guess that's your way of, saying, oh, this is how I'm gonna build suspense. But it doesn't make any sense. And then on top of that, how when they were down there for about 5 months or 3 months, I kind of missed the time. It's been some time since I've seen it. Why would they just look clean pressed, like they were clean shaven? They didn't have any signs of wear. It was bad. And then on top of that, this John Blake, new Robin Blake. He is the worst Robin I've ever seen. Apparently he's Robin now, and he has no type of combat experience, can barely hold his own against Bane's henchmen. But he's supposedly supposed to take over after Bruce Wayne, League of Shadows trained, which he wasn't trained by the League of Shadows, but League of Shadows trained, guy, who could fight Ra's al Ghul, and you plan on replacing him with this guy, and I don't know if that was a nod, and I heard screams in the theater like, Robin! It was pretty piss poor. He had no type of combat experience. In my opinion, he'd probably fail as a Robin, and he'd probably fail. And it was just poor. And then on top of that, we go on to the next thing, Talia. When she said she was Talia, I wasn't. You tried to have two simultaneous romances at the same time, and I didn't really know why he had two simultaneous romances going on at the same time. You have Catwoman, which Anne Hathaway, in my opinion, she did a great Suzanne Kyle. She did good. It just didn't add anything to the movie. So her performance was wasted basically. Um, but trying to have that whole romance with her, and it was just bad. And Alfred, um, for any Batman fan, we know Alfred would never leave Bruce. Why that is on the table now, and it's such a departure from the Dark Knight, because that's a huge departure from it. Because Alfred was backing Bruce. Bruce wanted to quit, and he's like, "Well, the world, they need somebody to be hated, Master Wayne. The world needs to hate you, Master Wayne. They need somebody to hate. That's why the Batman's so important." Now, Alfred just did a 180, and he's like, "Yo," he's basically saying, I can't watch you kill yourself, Master Wayne. I can't do it." And he leaves. Why is the question? Why is the question? Why would Alfred leave? It's such a departure and such a 180 from what you did before. Christopher Nolan, you are a piss poor writer. I mean, piss poor director when it comes to DC films. I don't know how you can go from The Dark Knight, which is up here. Even I'm a DC snob and it's up here. It was perfect portrayal of Batman, perfect portrayal of Joker. Heath Ledger's performance just took it over the top, and now it's just some crap. Like, you just did a steaming dump, and you took it on the face of me and every DC fan, and you just shit on our face, and like, you just did a piss poor job. Like, what are you doing, Christopher Nolan? Why? It was like, you just released this crap. It was poor, no character development. Character development, if you haven't noticed, character development is very important to me. There's no character development. You don't really feel for Batman. You don't feel for John Blake. And if it weren't, in my opinion, if it weren't for the supporting character of Morgan Freeman, well, I like Morgan Freeman, and if it wasn't for what's his face, Anne Hathaway, and there was another great character too. If it weren't for those three, it would have been an awful movie. It would have been even more bad. And then on top of that, why did they have to blow the floor at Gotham Stadium? What sense does that make? It didn't make any sense to me. Why shoot the guy who could disarm the bomb? Then on top of that, why keep putting this Scarecrow guy in? I guarantee you, in the Justice League movie, he's gonna be in it. If Nolan has anything to do with it, he's gonna be in the Justice League movie. I'm disappointed in this movie. It was piss poor, very poor. The action stopped once they did the bomb, and like, you were just kind of left for like 30, 45 minutes, worried about what the hell. And then Batman comes in the city, you don't even know how the fuck he got there. Then he just quits being Batman. He just quits and makes John Blake the new Batman. And the Bat looked awful. I just had to throw that in there. The Bat did. What the hell was that? The Bat looked. What the fuck was that? I was, and there's no tie-in. I should have brought that up in Superman Rises. The Man of Steel. But there's, like, the Nolan universe doesn't have any kind of tie-in like Marvel does. Marvel had tie-in. You knew that there were other superheroes around. But for some reason you didn't know that there was a thing around. And the perfect thing I heard was, it should have been Superman kind of to save Batman. At the end of the movie, it would have been real cool if at the end of Man of Steel, you kind of, at the end, like a cutscene, you saw Superman kind of zoom in and just kind of take Batman out the back and just go, and then he puts Batman on the floor, and then he should say, like, puts Batman on the ground. He's like, "Thanks, man." It's like, What's your name? I'm Superman. What's your name? My name is Batman. And that would have been like just I would have went wild if I saw that. But there's no tie-in in this universe. It's kind of like everybody's just so individual. But the funny thing is that when it comes to integration of the universes, DC's is way more integrated than Marvel is. The Marvel's was. DC was way more integrated. There were tons of times where heroes helped each other out, and that it doesn't exist in this DC universe that they created, and I kind of wish that did exist. But overall, if you're a fan who thought The Dark Knight Rises, tell me why you thought it was bad. I'll definitely reply to your comments. I'm not hardly followed. If you like what you saw, subscribe to me. I could really use some more viewers. But I'll respond and let y'all know what I think of it. I thought it was a bad movie. What did you guys think? I don't think there's any salvation for the DC universe. If there's any requests for any reviews or videos that you want me to do, hit me up and let me know. All right, guys, Black Shield out.